So it's true that more is coming for Social Security. We are about to see it. And I said this earlier on today, I said it last week, probably the week prior as well, that we are going to see massive changes to Social Security. And this is actually good news. The reason why this is good news is because everybody's talking about how do we keep Social Security solvent past 2034? How do we increase benefits to those that absolutely need it? And who is going to pay for this? Well, the talks are coming back. And here's why. The debt ceiling. The U.S. debt ceiling crisis is potentially coming to an end. The reason for that is because we're getting closer to the default date, which Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that will be June 1st. So here's what's going on for Social Security. And let's talk about the potential increases of up to $2,400 per year or $200 per month. Also, let's talk about the wealth taxes as well and who is going to be paying for all these things. So look at this. So I want to show you this right here. It says House Democrats looking to renew plan to expand Social Security say debt ceiling fight hurt seniors the most. Well, guess what? Because the debt ceiling is hurting seniors the most, guess who's going to get more benefits later on? Guess who is going to be looked at as, okay, they should use some additional relief. They could actually use it. They need it. Well, here's what we know. Today, on May 23rd, 2023, House Democrats reintroduced a piece of legislation for Social Security. That piece of legislation is called the Social Security 2100 Act. I've talked about this last year. I think I've talked about this for 2 or 3 years now. It's crazy, but we are continuing to talk about it. Because why? Well, guess what? The year of 2023 is supposed to be called the year for Social Security. Well, in this bill, it calls for Social Security benefits or an increase of benefits by taxing the wealthy. Now, there are other proposals out there that are taxing the wealthy, but the difference is how much are we taxing? Are we going all the way up to $400,000 per year for the Social Security income tax? Or are we stopping at $162,000? Or are we going to $250,000? A lot of different things happening here. But this isn't the only proposal. Even Senator Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, these are two people that have been pushing for another piece of legislation that would benefit Social Security recipients. And that is a $2,400 per year or $200 per month boost to Social Security benefits. This is actually very big. Now, here's the interesting part. This is not President Biden's plan. Yes, President Biden spoke with Senator Bernie Sanders, and then he proposed this or introduced this piece of legislation. But this isn't President Biden's plan. No. So President Biden also had an initial plan to provide up to $200 per month to all Social Security recipients. However, that never came to fruition. So right now, it's Senator Bernie Sanders' plan. But the reason I bring this up is because reports are indicating that President Biden wants to do something. He wants to propose something, but he can't because he promised the American taxpayers, your taxes will not go up by 1 cent if you make less than $400,000 per year. So he's pretty much had to hold to that statement, that promise, and he can't do anything else. But it doesn't mean other lawmakers can't. This is why everyone else is proposing different pieces of legislation and not the president himself. Now, like I said in a video earlier, and if you didn't get a chance to watch that video, I will link to that down in the description box below, so make sure you go and watch that. But in that video, I talk about how there are multiple reports that are indicating that now that the debt ceiling is almost over. And when I say almost over, I mean it's getting closer to having a deal done or we breach the debt ceiling, right? But lawmakers are now at that point where they can get back to the drawing board and determine what is needed, who needs it, and how can they even get this passed. So let's just break that down for a second. So what is needed? Could we see additional relief? Could we see additional payments to Social Security recipients? Yeah. Isn't it going to come in the form of, oh, you need more money? Well, here's an extra $100. No. Chances are it's going to come by seeing some form of tying in inflation a little bit to Social Security. We know that the cost of living adjustment, or COLA, over every single year, it comes out, and like last year, 8.7%. Year before that, much lower, right? This next year in 2024, it's probably going to be in between 3 and 4%. But we all know that number is not 100% accurate. It's probably not even close, because these are things that senior citizens are not really spending money on, but yet they're factoring that into the cost of living adjustment. Why? Doesn't make sense, right? Well, this is where we're going to potentially see some changes. Reports right now are saying that they're indicating that something must get done for Social Security, because House Republicans are attempting to get rid of this massive benefit. But in fact, House Republicans and Democrats both believe the exact same thing. They believe that something must get done for Social Security to save it, to ensure it doesn't become insolvent, and it needs to happen before it's too late. That's what we know. Here's what we heard earlier last week. Last week we heard from a few White House aides that didn't want to be named. They said, and what they said was very interesting. Okay, I don't have exact quotes here, but it's the gist of it is that President Biden understands that the longer that they wait to address Social Security, the bigger the cuts would need to be, the more tax revenue we would need to generate, which would mean just to keep Social Security solvent, which would mean we have to tax more people, which usually means there's no limit on income, right? There's no income cap, so we can go up to billions of dollars and tax all that. That would never get passed. The one thing that could get passed is we would tax more people. So the anybody under making less than $400,000 per year, that would be thrown out the door. That would be out the window. That wouldn't be possible. So they understand now that in order for Social Security to remain solvent, we either address things now, increase the tax revenue, decrease expenses. That doesn't mean cuts, okay? Just want to be very clear on that. That does not mean cuts. Now, could we see changes to the way things are financed? Could we see changes to the way things are done? Yes, we could. But it doesn't mean cuts to benefits. It could mean cuts to other things, but not benefits. So because of all of this, they're saying now is the time to pass some type of Social Security reform. But the reason I want to bring this up, and the reason I'm bringing it up right now, is because this is what people are talking about. Okay? This right here. This was published today on May 23rd, 2023 at 3:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? That was about an hour ago from when I'm shooting this video. Right? So keep that in mind. That stuff for Social Security is coming. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but like I said before, all the reports, everything is pointing to one thing. They're going to look at all the different proposals. They're going to combine them and figure out what would make the best bill that both Republicans and Democrats could get behind, pass it, and President Biden could sign it, and we could fix and solve this potential issue. So that's what's coming. As I said before, as I always say, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.